Got stuff here. Look at this. This looks like a radio morning setup here. We could, get Vic LaRusso to call in.
Yeah, that's right. We could talk about issues that are affecting you. How's your morning going?
Good.
What's affecting you this morning?
No.
This is me talking to listeners.
Okay.
This is talkback.
Well, okay. You know what grinds my gears, Stu? You know what it is?
People who yell too loud into microphones?
People who walk slowly in front of you in shopping malls.
Okay, right.
Yeah. You know what I mean. They're usually of a certain persuasion. The slow walker.
Right.
Yeah. Old.
I had no idea you were ageist.
Would you like some water?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
No, I never thought I'd be asking an ageist for water, but this is where we are.
Ageist. Yeah, I suppose that's the word you'd use, isn't it? An oldest? Because I'm not ageist. I like young people. I think they can do it all.
You disgusting bastard.
I love doing these podcasts. I'm ready to go. I really enjoy your podcasts.
My podcast.
I had a question for you about that, actually. There was something on one of your pods I wanted to know about.
Save it for after the intro. Here we are in bit weird, but fair enough, I guess. Land again. It's a pleasure to be joined once again by series regular. How's that for a title?
Series regular. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Monty, what the fuck's going on with you?
Not too much, mate. Not too much at all. I'm just, aging into my role as a series regular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that, you know how, like you used to watch shows like Cheers or Melrose Place, and they would have like the cast at the beginning, and then they would have guest starring, but it was someone who was on every episode?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not on every episode, but you know what I mean by that. Why did they do that, Stu? Do you know why?
Well, I think it's because their role was too small to be included in the regular cast. Like, they didn't have enough speaking lines or weren't there enough. But they were a big enough shot to demand kind of a special kind of credit. That's how I see it.
Now, on a bit weird topic this is a personal note, but it's a bit weird. Did you happen to watch any of that television show I sent you to look at?
Cop Rock.
I beg your pardon?
Now, funnily enough, you and I used to do a show called Welcome to Television.
We still do. It's just on hiatus.
It's been on hiatus for 2 years, though.
That's what shows do.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's a new Matlock. A new Walker, right?
Yeah, but that's just...
Does that mean Walker never ended? It does.
Ooh. Or it might mean that no one's got any fucking ideas.
Yeah, until now.
Anyway, you and I would love to do this show again, but certain circumstances are preventing us from doing that.
Circumsty.
Yeah. But what you're talking about here would have been perfect fodder for that podcast, which was about, the TV industry and oddities therein.
The weirdness seems to be the kind of the through line with our podcast.
Well, it's just where we gravitated when we were talking about things. Now, Cop Rock is what?
Now, I want to preface this by saying I did not find this. This I found on an American television show I didn't call it. It's called that. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Yeah.
And he brought back into the zeitgeist, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
The television show Cop Rock, which I believe went for 8 episodes and was
11.
11. You did this? Good.
I looked it up.
A musical police drama that was, it's brilliant.
Now, I've never heard of a series being commissioned for 11 episodes, which suggests...
I believe it was cancelled.
Cancelled halfway through making.
I wonder if it was that baby episode that got them. How good is that? So I sent you to listen to a particular song.
Which I'll put up on our social.
Please. It's called Baby Merchant, and it's about a man who's dressed not quite like how I think a baby... But then I don't know what a baby merchant would dress like. But in a park trying to solicit a couple to see if they want to buy a baby.
He's a bit like not the main villain in a Miami Vice episode, but maybe
a henchman.
Yeah, but not even like the second-hand man, maybe the third-hand man, third henchman down.
Very third henchman, but not. He doesn't have the prowess or kind of physicality of a henchman.
No, but he's like a little. You know who he reminds me of?
Where'd you go?
Commando, the movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, Sully?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
little,
yeah, sure.
The little smart-ass guy?
Yeah, cool.
I like
get
you,
that.
Sully.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to kill you last.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's a good analogy. Analogous. And he sings to a couple about selling them a baby that he will procure. He goes into it's 3 minutes long, which is one of the best parts.
Now, this is a procedural cop show that's also a musical. So if you can imagine that, so there'll be, gritty scenes and then everyone will just stop and start singing a song. The hardest gig in acting ever, and I'm talking about something you haven't seen yet, but you'll understand when you see it.
Please.
The hardest gig in acting is when someone is singing at you for 3 minutes and you're reacting to the singing.
Yeah, that's not easy.
Like,
especially when you have no verbal response.
No, sincerely,
they're just
character.
being sung at.
Yeah, sung at for 3 minutes.
And it comes across as that. They look like they're struggling with that.
Yeah.
But did you find on your searches through that the racist song?
Yes.
Whoa. That was insane.
I think I'm going to have to take this offline because no one knows what this is yet without looking, and they're trying to listen to us.
Yeah.
But,
maybe this is something for another podcast about, like, what's the go?
We've just decided because we want to do Welcome to Television again, we're just going to take over this podcast.
TV.
With it.
Yeah, okay.
No, all right.
Let's get back to weird stuff.
But fair enough.
Yeah, weird.
Let's start. Let's start. And I start with a weird law. And this week's weird law is from Utah, perhaps not surprisingly.
Yep.
It is illegal to marry your first cousin unless you're both over the age of 65. Now, I have a good reason for that.
Have a thought on that?
But no, I know the reason.
Oh, okay.
But I'm interested in what your initial take might be.
Well, my first thing was, I went to Utah once. I drove through Salt Lake City.
Always got to make it about you, don't you?
Well, this relates to the story.
All right.
I drove through Salt Lake City. It was part of the highway. I was going from the north to the south, going to, I don't know, California or something like that. And I noticed as we were going through the outskirts, like the highways there was a lot of transit lanes. For, if you got 2 or more people in the car, you can go in a faster lane.
Right.
It took me about 20 k's out of the city, and I thought, it's driving with all his wives. The more wives in the car you have, the quicker you can go. And there was actually an abundance of transit lanes in that city, and I was like, wow, that's wife-related. 65 or over, I don't know. My thought would be just because everyone's like, fuck, whatever. You've liked them for this long? Go for it.
No, it's actually just because they don't want them cousins having kids.
Okay, and we hope that over 65-year-olds can't have kids.
Yeah. I think that's pretty old. By maybe 55 even, you should be safe, shouldn't you?
What's the oldest father in the world?
Well, that's the other issue. Because you were telling me about Bernie Ecclestone.
Oh, my. Ramjit Raghav is the oldest father in the world. He had his second son at 96.
Yeah. But you were telling me about Bernie Ecclestone.
Burn Dog.
Not
yeah.
90 or something.
Yeah, he was pumping him out. Oh, I got bad news for you. I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
The oldest mother in the world is 74-year-old mother-to-be.
Natural, though?
No, IVF.
Yeah, well.
Chinese woman, 67, maybe the world's oldest natural mother. Yeah, she's not Utarian.
So they haven't...
Is that what you call it, Utarian?
So they haven't got it high enough, is your thinking?
Wouldn't you just say, you can marry, that's fine, but it's illegal for you to have kids?
Yeah, just don't have kids, Yeah. Look, I don't know if birth control's big in Utah. That's a start.
I think not.
Yeah. And also, sorry to be sexist, but surely the law should just be, unfortunately, practically, the law should be the female has to be over 65 because, as you say, 90-year-old buggers are
pumping them out.
impregnating women. So,
do you think this leads me to a weirder point, but do you think with 90-year-old man kind of stuff, is it going to be a weird kid? Like, are you making a dusty old kind of not quite there child?
I don't know. I don't suppose there are enough case studies of extremely young women to extremely old, and Nicole Smith's kind of stuff aside. This has gone down a weird tangent.
Yeah, I could take a weirder, but I won't.
Well, you know what? I'm going to move on.
Yeah,
because you usually, I don't know what stories people are bringing to me, but you gave me a hint about what you're talking about today, and I want to make sure it's got enough time as it possibly can get.
I've got enough time.
All right, so let me rip through my stuff quickly.
Don't rip through it. I'd like to enjoy it.
Well, we spent bloody 10 minutes talking about cop rock, which isn't even on the run sheet here.
But it should have been on the run sheet.
All right. Now, this is a bit of a tie back to the first episode of this series where you were telling me that about immortal lobsters.
Oh, yeah. Larry?
Yeah. So I've got some weird animal stuff, essentially. And the first one here ties back to what you were saying about the lobsters, right?
Go.
And that's that some jellyfish are also immortal.
I've heard this. I've heard that.
So the jellyfish, obviously they look like just floating blobs, but that's just one of the jellyfish's life stages. In the first stage, they're larvae and they attach themselves to, an egg.
Larvae?
Yeah. Larvae?
Well, isn't lava from a volcano?
Well, if it's spelled appropriately. So, yeah, it goes from larvae to a polyp, and then from the polyp, jellyfish come out, and then it's a big jellyfish. But scientists have found that some species can actually go backwards through life stages as well. So if it's in a dangerous, stressful situation, it can revert to the polyp stage from the fully formed stage.
Fuck this, I'm going back to being a polyp.
They're Benjamin Buttoning it.
Yeah, whenever they feel the need. Can they then go the other way, or is it a one-time deal?
No, I think they can
back and forth.
Yeah, depending on how they feel about the circumstances they're in.
That's odd.
Not that jellyfishes usually have a kind of formed opinion on their circumstances, I would have thought. I'm sure it's a kind of instinctual
I think they're brainless, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So it's really just a chemical reaction to stimuli, I guess.
Sharks nearby, better turn into a polyp.
Yeah. Did you know that artificial strawberry flavour comes from beavers' castor sacs? So it's been an urban legend that artificial flavours come from the anal glands of some animals like beavers, which is not true, but it comes from an organ next to the beaver's anus called a castor sac. So the scent compounds in low concentrations from that area and takes on subtle hints of honey, anise and raspberry. That's why that's anise, not anus.
Okay,
anise, as in aniseed kind of flavour.
Anise.
Yeah. That's what
anise.
Are you going to pick me up on my poor pronunciation all the way through this? Pronunciation. Hey. That's why it's sometimes used as a flavouring agent in artificial strawberry, raspberry and vanilla. So
go on. So I'm having a bit of beaver anus gland, well, just to the left of in my strawberry milkshake?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. I'm sure topping falls into that category.
That's not good.
No.
What I am always intrigued by with those things is who looked at a beaver's anus and said, you know what we could do with that? Make fake strawberry flavour.
I think it's probably the other way around. I think one scientist found another scientist digging around a beaver's ass, and he said, "What are you doing there?" And he had to come up with something on the spot. Looking for flavouring.
Someone originally would have had to taste or smell very closely a beaver's anus.
Yeah, so maybe a beaver kind of attacked him. Found himself in a situation where the beaver was trying to hit him with that big tail.
Yeah.
And the guy's nose is right near the back door.
Yeah, sure.
And he's going, ooh,
oh my,
raspberry.
Yeah, I could make something with this. Wow. Well, that's odd. That's a bit weird.
It is. Some tarantulas have pet frogs. That's a bit weird. So in Peru, India, and Sri Lanka, tarantulas
that's crazy.
Have a type of small, narrow-mouthed frog. They enjoy a curious relationship together. The spiders could obviously very easily kill the frog and eat it, but the frogs instead of becoming a snack, they take shelter under the tarantulas. So the tarantulas are so big and frogs are so small
sure.
that the frogs live under the tarantulas. The spider offers protection for the frog.
Yeah. In return, I know nature. Nature, you always got to get something both ways.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah.
While the frog dines on bits and pieces that fall from the tarantula's prey. Mm-hmm. But what does a spider...
Here for the frog,
what does a spider get out of it? The frog loves to eat ants, which are a huge danger to tarantula eggs. So
okay. You stay around,
eat the ants. You can eat my scraps, and I'll protect you from scorpions. Pretty much.
So scorpions are out. Oh, that's kind of cool.
There you go. And lastly here, anglerfish.
They're weird-looking fish.
They are. Did you know they permanently fuse together when they mate?
No, but that's upsetting.
It is.
Really? So, is that like those king rats?
Oh, well...
Or a fatberg? I think a fatberg's different. I think I'm thinking of a ratberg.
It seems to be that it's so difficult to cop a root when you're an male anglerfish down in those depths.
I ain't going nowhere.
He's not going to let go.
Yeah.
So the male, when he finally encounters a female, will immediately bite her and latch onto her.
Oh.
The two fishes' skin fuse together with their blood vessels joining, and the
blood vessels.
Yeah, and the blood flows, from one to the other. Eventually, the male's eyes and fins atrophy away, and he just lives off her blood, breathing with his own gills and lungs, and
horrendous.
And just supplying her sperm when required.
Well, it's not really her anymore, is it? It's just a blood sack.
No. He's the blood sack.
Oh, he's a blood sack.
Yeah, he just lives off her blood. Like he.
Oh, I see. Okay, the other way around.
Because his eyes and fins are gone.
They're gone.
So he can't.
What about the weird dangly bit at the front? Has he still got that?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, that's important, that bit.
Well...
Seems to light the way for them.
It attracts fish. Or attracts prey. I don't think she'd want it on him because they'll be distracted. Prey. There's two things that they could go for.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You could do a whole series on bit weird nature.
Well...
Like a David Attenborough
I'm pretty sure Attenborough's done all this. I don't know if...
Attenborough's not about the getting weird. He's more
he does sometimes.
And marvellous.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't suppose he's talked about, anglerfish fucking and...
Beaver anus?
No, thanks. So they're my weird stories for the week.
They're pretty weird.
I'm going to hand over to you because I'm excited to hear what you're going to say.
All right. We've talked about this for a while, and once again, I have to claim that I didn't discover this, but it did send me on a path.
What the fuck do you do, mate?
Not much. But I recently listened to a couple of podcasts myself about the weirdness of the world of cartoon characters.
Yeah, so like you kind of comic book characters specifically is what you told me.
Comic book characters specifically. Yeah. From, say, companies like Archie Comics, DC Comics, the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And how you'd be surprised to learn, but the Marvel Universe, I think they have something over the region of 10,000 characters that they own and have the proprietary to and they keep them these days in case they're like, well, one day this is the weird thing going to work.
Well, they've been going for decades, so they obviously just keep churning characters out.
And a lot of them were like bad guys. Like it was just like villains you needed for an episode, an issue of Spider-Man.
Might not
5.
have come back or something, yeah. What was the podcast you were listening to?
Great podcast. I highly recommend it to all. It's called Planet Money.
Yep.
And it was a 3-part podcast in which they tried to purchase a superhero from Marvel.
A lower level one, I'm assuming.
A one that they thought would never be used again. Now, so what I have done, I have dug into the annals of comic bookery and the beaver annals of comic bookery, and I have come up with a list. I found a list of the 10 weirdest superheroes ever.
Do you want to tell us what that one they were trying to buy is first?
If you continue to listen. Luckily, he comes in at number 1.
Oh.
So, I'm going to leave it as a cliffhanger, and then we can learn more about him at number 1.
All right, well, we'll go to a break then if that's a cliffhanger.
Is that the music you use?
It is.
Yeah.
Now, hang on, we're in break.
Oh.
Do you like strawberry and cream lollies? You're eating a beaver's back door. At your local shop now. And we're back.
Hey, so I've got this list of comic book characters and their craposity from the beginning. So we're going to start with number 10. Number 10 is a comic book character called the Red Bee. He appeared in Hit Comics number 1. Hang
on, what's Hit Comics?
There you go. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
We can find out.
Keep talking.
But so I quite like, there's one. So you know how so He-Man had Battle Cat?
He sure did.
Right? And there was that other guy who had that robot dog that could fly. Either way, Red Bee is like a bee-themed superhero who has a trained bee called Michael that does his bidding. Yeah. So,
had they run out of weed in the writer's room or something when they came out with that?
It's the 1940s. So, yeah, so he can call his one favourite bee Michael to do his bidding or a swarm of bees.
Okay.
Number 2 appeared in Secret Origins Volume 2, number 46. His name pretty much explains it all. He's called Arm Fall Off Boy. He was a bona fide superhero. Now, also...
Hang on. Since when is leprosy a superpower?
Yeah, he could pull his arm off and kind of hit people with it is usually his go. Or throw it at people, and I believe he could recall it, and it would, zip back to his arm.
So it's it's tethered?
No, it's not tethered. I think that was a magic recall.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Whoop. He also had a pal on his team who I don't think makes the list, but was quite weird, called Matter Eater Lad.
Matter Eater. Oh, so...
Matter Eater Lad.
Right.
Yeah, who could just eat anything. That was his superpower. I quite like that. Number 8, coming in, he had his own comic book. It only lasted, I believe, one comic, and it was called Skate Man.
Right.
He's a roller skater. That's his superpower, is he's on roller skates. He kicks people with roller skates.
Right. He kicks people. He doesn't just...
he chases them down, then kicks them with the skates.
He doesn't just, impress people so much with his skating they forget their skates.
Now, number 7 is my favourite looking one. He looks cool as fuck, but he's not that cool. He's called Razorback.
Right.
He's
like the Big Pig movie.
Bam! Like the Big Pig movie.
Is it?
He's a pig man. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. But here, have a look at Razorback.
Okay. So he looks like Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja
He's just
Turtles.
wearing a mask. He's not even
he's not even a pig.
No, he's not a pig.
He's just wearing a mask.
Yeah. So he, his superpower is, get this, ability to drive any vehicle. Yep. So he wears a helmet that looks like a pig, and his superpower is he can drive any vehicle.
I always assumed that there was a certain level of creativity you needed to work in comic books. This is something I assumed I could never do.
Yep, no, you could do it fine and better than Razorback.
So hang on. Does the power also come with the requisite licenses you need?
Nice. That would be a new superhero power, the ability to produce a license.
Produce licenses for any situation.
Where's your C-class? It's me, Razorback. I got a C-class license. Yeah. So what I found is within the world of stupid superheroes, there appears to be name and image or superpower, which is stupid. And our next one definitely falls under pretty much the guise of all of that.
Right.
This guy was in Adventure Comics number 342. And that was in 1985, and his name is Color Kid.
Oh.
Color Kid. And his superpower is...
I assume changing colours.
He can change anything's colour.
Oh, anything's colour. Okay.
Yeah. How this will help, I don't know. It seems more annoying than anything else. Okay, coming in at number 5, Marvel Superheroes Volume number 2, issue number 8. More recent. She's just kind of outright shit. Her name is...
Is that it? Outright shit?
Squirrel Girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And she lives in New York to become the protector of Central Park and its squirrels.
Okay. Now, does she have squirrel qualities, or is she just wearing a squirrel mask?
She's got a squirrel tail, it appears.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know much about her.
All right. likes nuts, hoards them.
I would assume that could go to a different...
Or is she some sort of Robin Hood character taking nuts off rich squirrels and giving them to less fortunate squirrels?
I like that. Next up, number 4. This one is confusing but interesting. Alpha Flight, number 44, first appearance. His name is Mannequin Man.
Oh, okay. He's just a store mannequin come to life, is he?
No.
No? That's too obvious,
That's
obviously.
too obvious. He can look like anything.
Right.
Like, that's it, though. Can't do what
So
they
a shapeshifter.
do. Kind of, but only in human form. Like, he can look like any era of our past. So, like, he can look like a caveman.
Oh, I see.
Isn't
Isn't that just like Mystique and other shapeshifters that were already...
But with less range.
Seemingly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bizarre. Number 3 you might have heard of, but it was Superman's pal, Crypto the Super Dog.
Right, yeah,
Super
heard of
Dog.
Crypto.
He's just a Superman in dog form. He's actually pretty cool. I don't know why he's kind of here, but that's all right.
Is he cool, though?
No, it's really odd.
Yeah.
But, it's understandable, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're a dog lover. I'm not. So, but does that kind of thing get a free
You're
pass?
not a dog lover?
No.
That's a bit harsh, man.
Why?
Because they're lovely.
They stink and they're stupid.
They can probably say the same about us.
But that's all. I can't, I can choose whether to have a dog. I can't choose whether I suppose I choose whether I live, don't I?
You choose whether you die.
Let's carry on.
Yeah.
Well, no, the question was, because you are a dog lover, does shit like that get a free pass because they're a dog?
No.
Right.
No, there's stupid dog stuff. That's
Okay.
fine. I don't
All
think just because it's... If it was a greyhound, I'd probably be into it, but it's not a greyhound.
Well, I think we've talked... I don't know if we've talked about this on here before, but greyhounds are the freakiest dogs to me.
They're pretty weird looking, but I love them. They're very lovely. I have 2 of them.
They're too long.
They're very long boys.
Their faces are long.
girls.
I don't trust them for that reason.
Yeah,
for some
I understand that. Yeah, the slender man of the dog world.
Yes,
yeah,
very
they're
much.
like a small horse.
Reason. Sure.
Yeah. Number 2 on the list is very weird. Just the look of it more. I think you'll have to post this one. He first appeared in the Great Lakes Avengers number 1.
Great Lakes Avengers.
Yeah, they had East Coast, West Coast, and Great Lake Avengers.
Really?
Legit.
We're breaking it down that much?
Legit. Yeah, each region of the country got their own Avengers.
You know what? By the time they got to Utah Avengers, they're just making sure cousins don't marry too young.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Well, this kind of relates to that. This guy's name is Leatherboy. Have a look at Leatherboy.
Oh, okay. So Leatherboy is just straight out of the Village people.
He's just a BDSM hero,
Yeah.
it seems like.
What's going on with his lips? Is that lipstick, or has he feasted on blood recently?
Have a look again. That's a ball gag.
Oh, sorry. It's a ball gag.
Yeah,
I didn't look closely enough.
Yeah, come on there, dude.
All right. So superpowers, I kind of
that's less-
ask hesitantly.
I've looked at this guy a few times.
Of course you have.
It's less clear what his powers are. He's got a fat friend, and he seems to try and get people crushed by his fat pal. Really?
That's his superpower, having a fat friend.
Yeah, it's weird.
You don't have to be into BDSM to have that power, do you?
Can I also point out, you don't find many superheroes that are that hairy?
Yeah.
That's creepy. All right, and the one that got me interested in all of this, number 1, a particularly bad character this was on the show that I listened to, who they tried to purchase, but we're not allowed to, is a man called Doorman.
Doorman.
First appeared in the West Coast Avengers. Doorman, his only ability is to create a single door at one time, but the best part is he cannot go through the door himself.
Yeah, it's only for others, is
Yeah.
that right? You were telling me a bit about this one.
And I had to look into it a bit more and looked at some of the comics. It's very funny because they'll need to get in somewhere quickly and he'll let them in, and then you won't see him for a couple of pages, and he'll be back and say, I found my way in through another way.
It's going to walk around.
Yeah, it's fucking
What
perfect.
I love about that is that There's no logical reason for that other than kind of arbitrarily deciding he doesn't get to go through.
Right? It's like, your power's this, but you can't go through.
Yeah.
Love it. It's bizarre.
But what is that? Is that meant to be a message of self-sacrifice to help others?
It must be. He also, that being said, he looks pretty cool. You want to see Doorman? Doorman's all right.
All right.
But all he can do is...
He looks like Spider-Man in a kind of Venom-style outfit with a white cape.
But also with no chin. He appears to have no kind of features.
Yeah. Yeah. Well...
Good cape, though. Good cape.
I expected him to have a kind of
Door shape.
mahogany look to
right?
him.
Yeah. He does, later in life, learn to fly somehow.
So... Is there much need for doors in the sky?
No. I don't know why he learns to fly, but I suppose it allows him to hang with the crew more when everyone else is flying.
I guess so.
Other notable mentions. I found another couple of weird cartoon heroes.
Sorry, I just looked at what you're flicking through. Ambush Pig is one of
Ambush Pig, Colour Kid's back. Leech, he sucks.
is that you being funny? Or?
Phantomar. No, I hadn't even thought about that. Penny Plunderer. Where there was.
All right, don't read the list to us unless you've got something to talk
there were some good ones that I wanted to talk about. Bouncing Boy is a little weird. Bouncing Boy is quite older. He's from the DC universe. He's just big round fellow who bounces.
Yeah, he bounces a lot. No one can
that
catch
one's
him.
kind of like, self-explanatory.
All right.
If you have any... Oh, do you want to see a picture of Matter Eater Lad? That's him.
Oh, he's eating a fence. Just eating a fence.
Yeah. It's great.
Well, what, is that because Doorman wasn't around?
Well, Doorman hadn't come along yet, apparently.
Doorman was there. He wouldn't need to eat the fence.
Yeah, it's... So there's a weird world that I highly recommend going to look for of these bad superheroes.
Well, thank you so very much. We'll post as many up there as we can be bothered posting when this episode comes out.
Absolutely.
Product of the week, Monty.
What do you got, man?
So you remember Captain Tom, don't you?
Captain Tom.
He's that British World War II veteran who did laps of his garden to
did they run?
support
He ran a marathon or something in his yard, right?
No, he just walked around his yard because he was 100.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was in support of frontline workers during the COVID crisis. Unfortunately, Captain Tom died, not long after. Not while walking, okay. No. Ironically, no frontline workers around to help him either, so...
well, they need to reassess where their lines are.
But I came across a product. You can now, show your appreciation of Captain Tom by taking a toke on the Captain Tom ceramic bong. So somebody's gone to the trouble of making a beautiful ceramic bong in the likeness of Captain Tom.
Captain Tom Bong. That's quite funny. I feel like I saw this somewhere.
I might have sent it to you.
You might have sent it to me.
There you go.
Ha! That's a quite lifelike Captain Tom Bong.
Yeah. So the cone's coming out of his forehead and the sucking chute coming out the top of his head.
Is that, what do you call it? A sucking chute?
It's the best I could
it's descriptive.
come up with right at this moment.
The neck?
Yeah, I suppose the shotty's on the back of his head.
You'd want the way it's looking like that, you'd want a mouth shotty or a nostril shotty.
I suppose. But that's great,
It would be impractical. Or a 2-ear shotty.
I don't have to grip Captain Tom's head, that tightly.
It's quite good.
We're trying to commemorate him while we're sucking his head.
Are we? Is that what we're doing?
Why? Well, yeah. Why else
would you feel commemorated if someone was sucking a bong of your head?
Why else? Would you feel like £30 for a ceramic Captain Tom if we don't appreciate the bloke?
That's fair. It's made in China too.
It's made in China, and they've made a very big deal out of pointing that out. There's a picture of Captain Tom giving us a big thumbs up next to the bong too, just in case you were wondering whether he endorsed the product or not.
Yeah, I assume they asked him about this. It's only £30 too. That's not bad for that kind of craftsmanship.
Yeah. So there you are. Look for that. Should you, have a little piece of your heart set aside for Captain Tom and want something there to...
It's a specific person, the one who wants to...
I suppose it is.
Bong on and remember Tom.
Okay. Parting oddity time, Monty.
Part me. Oddity.
Oh, don't say that.
I take it all back.
Ew, okay. Parting oddity, and this is about Robert Liston. So
Sonny?
No. Robert Liston was a surgeon back in the olden days. He's most famous for a surgical mishap that had a 300% mortality rate.
Wait, okay. So something happened and 2 other people in the room died?
Yeah. So in his haste to complete an operation, Liston accidentally cut off his surgical assistant's fingers. And while trying to switch instruments, he also slashed a spectator's coat.
Okay, first of all, I think those aren't life-threatening injuries.
The patient and the surgical assistant both died from infected wounds.
Yeah, okay.
And the spectator died of shock. He clearly, was
Died of shock?
very attached to that coat.
Or a very low constitution himself.
Or they're being euphemistic about it. This, slashed his coat deeply enough for some guts to come out.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, slashed his coat and his aorta.
Yeah, so that's the story of the only operation with a 300% mortality rate ever recorded.
Did you see the other day a doctor testifying in a grand jury case in the States on Zoom while doing an operation?
Testifying while doing an operation?
Yeah.
What was the operation?
I don't know, but he was cutting stuff. He couldn't.
Right.
Yeah. Someone was holding the thing up.
So was that a scheduling issue?
I assume a scheduling mishap.
Or they didn't believe he was a doctor. They wanted to see him doing his stuff before they'd take his evidence. All right?
Yes, that's probably it.
All right, well, thank you, Monty. Appreciate your time, as ever.
Thank you.
Just say goodbye, and then you can look at what you're looking at.
I'm looking at the doctor. I want to see him. You want to see an image of him? He's in Sacramento Superior
All
Court.
right, he just looks like a normal human.
Well, that's the judge.
Oh, that's the judge watching him.
Yeah.
That's the judge watching him
He's
do
got
the
blood
operation.
on his face, too.
He probably does.
Anyway, here we go. Thank you so much to you. It's great being on this show. I love this show, as always. It's one of the best shows that there is.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.